I wanted to do a jacket try on. Jackets are the thing that I think I spend the most money on. They're the thing that I wear the most. They're the thing that I love to wear the most, and therefore they are the largest part of my wardrobe. So I wanted to try on all of my jackets and talk about why I like them, how I style them, you know, why I think that they're important to have or not, and just kind of go through that with you. I thought that would be really fun. Now I'm wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and not just any t-shirt and jeans. I'm wearing my favorite t-shirt. This is the Silver Lake baby tee, and I'm wearing my favorite jeans, which are the Generica Eiffel Low Rise. I'm wearing this, which is like my favorite base, because I find that when I try things on, if it does not work with my favorite t-shirt and my favorite jeans, it's just not gonna work. So I'm using this as kind of like my starting point. Just a reminder, my 3 words are classic, 70s, and elegant. And I would say that most of my jackets add that vibe to a look for me, because again, I'm a jeans and a t-shirt kind of person. So the jacket is what's bringing personality, and the jacket is what's bringing kind of my style words. Jacket number 1. This is a Celine jacket that I got at the Celine outlet, so that was really a lucky find. I really like this. I think this brings a 70s vibe. I think that it feels polished and sophisticated. I just like that it has a little texture. As you can see, I'm kind of a neutrals person, so when I want interest, it's usually in texture. So this jacket is fabulous. It works great with this. I also like a cropped jacket like this, or a slightly cropped jacket with something a little bit wider leg. So I would also style this with a wide leg jean or a wide leg trouser, something that gives a little bit of balance. One more quick thing. This neckline, the kind of collarless neckline, I think can be a challenge for some people. If it is, I usually like it with something also crew neck, so like a higher crew neck or a turtleneck. I think that's sort of the best silhouette to pair with this kind of jacket. Jacket number 2, also collarless, so the same properties sort of apply. This one has kind of a stronger shoulder. This one's a little bit more polished. I wore this jacket a lot a few years ago. You know when you wear something a ton and then you're kind of like, I'm done with it for now? That's sort of how I felt, but I'm back on it. It's great. It's from Rosetta Getty, and if you're somebody that doesn't like a blazer, I think that this kind of collarless jacket is a really good alternative. Next, we have kind of a wild card. This is a newer acquisition. I got this on sale. It's Ferragamo. It is a silk bomber, and to me, it feels cool. It's a little bit different from what I normally wear in the sense that, like, to me, this feels kind of sporty, but I love that it's silk. I really like the buttons. I think it feels different, but still aligned with what I wear. With the 3 words, I feel like sometimes it can make us feel really rigid, like, ooh, if this doesn't fit in my 3 words, I can't have it. I think it's fun to evolve, and I think it's fun to try new things. For me, even though this doesn't seem like a wild card, it's kind of a wild card for me. Like I said, it feels a little bit more like casual and sporty, but I think the silkiness kind of brings it into my orbit. I really love it. Now this, another wild card. This one's actually sporty. My friend laughed when she said, when do you wear this? And I said, I wear this on my nightly walks. This is my sporty jacket. It is vintage Saint Laurent, so there's that. But I like it that it feels like a bomber. It feels casual. I would wear this with leggings. I've worn it with sporty shorts. I wear it with like a graphic t-shirt. To me, this is like my casual jacket. I'm not a casual gal, so this is a casual jacket for me. I don't have a classic moto jacket, but I do have this, which is kind of my version of that. I really like a classic moto jacket. I like that it has a lot of hardware. I like that it gives a nice edge to a look, but I find that the moto jackets I've had in the past have almost been a little bit too edgy for me, and as a result, I haven't worn them. This feels like it's giving hardware, it's giving edge, but it still feels kind of minimal. It still sort of has that like collarless jacket type of vibe, similar to these. To me, they're kind of in the same category. I also especially like this with dresses and skirts. I think it hits in a really nice place, and it just is a very nice proportion for that. Because this one is a bit edgy, I want to bring in kind of that elegance and that sophistication so it feels like me. So if I was going to, you know, pick a pair of sunglasses with this, I think I would do these, because to me these feel elegant, they feel classic, they make this jacket feel like the whole look is kind of just a bit more elevated. As opposed to these, which I also really love, but this almost feels a little bit too literal, you know, like I'm a motorcycle kind of person. Next, we have another leather jacket. This one's really thin. This is almost like a shirt jacket. I think that when I first got this, I almost felt like the shorter sleeves were a bug, not a feature. I think because the jacket's leather, and like I said, the edginess can be a bit much for me. Having this sort of openness makes it feel a little bit easier to wear. I really like this. Now I'll also wear this with a sweater or something longer in the sleeve, but I think it's really nice to show a little forearm. I've been trying to kind of beat this jacket recently. Like I've tried on a few that are sort of similar, but I can't beat it. Nothing that I've found is better than this. So I'm keeping it. This one is Marnie. Just a little note, this is the exact way that I have this organized in my closet. So I just went like from my closet. I prefer to display them in my closet by color as opposed to by texture, but I think that for this video, we can just skip ahead. So this is, I think, maybe my most worn leather jacket because I love brown. And I think, again, talking about like how the leather jacket brings edge, I think brown brings a little bit more of a softer edge. You know, it's not quite as much of a punch. So I wear this a lot. Also, again, the proportion's great. It's good with a dress. It's good with a skirt. It's good with wide leg jeans. Things that hit here are really nice, I think, on me. When I'm wearing something a little bit fuller on the bottom. I also like that it's quite minimal. Like I said, I don't want things with too many buttons or zippers or snaps or buckles. So this to me is kind of like the perfect leather jacket, and this is the one that I wear all the time. This one is from Noor Hamor. Now it's time to move to blazer territory. So I have 3 black blazers. This is black blazer number 1. Super cool. It is from Bottega, and I found it on major sale, not to brag. I really, well, I'll show you what I like about this one. First of all, it has this kind of double layer, which to me feels really 70s and like kind of groovy. It reminds me of like, you know, in the 1970s when men would wear like a really pointy, exaggerated collar shirt and put it on the outside of the lapel of their blazer. That's what this reminds me of a bit, and I really love it. Also, the shape of the sleeve is really cool. So while this is really classic, it also feels interesting. As somebody that already has 2 black blazers, when I saw this, it didn't feel like, oh shit, do I not need another black blazer? It felt like, whoa, this black blazer is really special and I think I'll wear it a lot. And I was right, I do wear it a lot. I like to put these little wax tablets on my hangers. It just makes the blazer smell so good. I can link them, they're delicious. It's like kind of a citrusy smell. Black blazer number 2. This one is from Nili Lotan. It's a double-breasted. So this is my more fancy blazer. Let's say I'm going to a wedding and I need a jacket to throw over a dress. This would probably be the one I would pick. It's double-breasted. It is classic. Like to me, this is sort of like as classic as it gets. Let's talk about the fit really quick. With blazers in general, I typically like to have a little bit more room so I can layer sweaters and stuff under. This is a really nice fit for me. I could fit a sweater underneath, but it doesn't feel too oversized. I find that if you are somebody that wants an oversized blazer look, but you don't want to feel like you're swimming in it, go for something that's double-breasted but has a stronger shoulder, because this will give you shape. It'll give that feeling of it being like a little bit wider and double-breasted, but without having all like the extra fabric, okay? So it feels relaxed and cool, but it's not like I'm swimming in it. So we love her. This is probably my most worn one in the black blazer. This is from Mateau. It is it doesn't say. I think it's linen. It's really, really light and super easy to wear. Feels like wearing nothing. You know, it doesn't really wrinkle very easily. It's like a very light linen blend. I like that it is single-breasted. To me, this feels very sleek. You know, in terms of my 3 words, this is definitely classic and it's definitely elegant. So we can like play up the 70s a bit, you know, maybe with these. These are kind of my favorite sunglasses right now. They're Phoebe Philo. With these simple black blazers, sometimes I like to give them a little zhuzh. So maybe I would put on this rosette. I think that's really nice. It just gives it, again, maybe a little bit of that 70s vibe. And also I like the black on black because it gives it like more texture. It's not like your eye is immediately going like, whoa, flower. It's just kind of bringing a little bit of texture. To me, this feels really cool. If you're somebody who doesn't normally love the way blazers look on you, this to me would be a good introductory blazer. I love it. Now this next one is more of an advanced level blazer, I would say. This is vintage. It's a really, really cool like green with some stripes. It's a men's blazer. I got it at a vintage store here in LA. Now here is what I love about it. First of all, it's dramatic as hell with these shoulder pads. But then also it has the shorter sleeve. So similar to my leather jacket with the shorter sleeve, I really like this because it feels oversized and it feels like dramatic. But I think because the sleeves are short, it doesn't feel like it's too big. It doesn't feel like it's like, you know, huge shoulders, long, wide, and long sleeves. To me, that would be too much. So I think because the sleeves are short, it gives it like a really interesting proportion. It feels more intentional. I love this one. I love the color. I love this color with denim. I also really like this color with this. This is another little adornment that I like. It's a Elsa Peretti for Tiffany little rose. I like to put this on. I really like red with off neutrals, meaning I don't normally pair this with a black blazer because to me that feels really dramatic, the black with the red, but the green is great, and I'll do it with navy, I'll do it with brown. I just really like this to just give like a little something. It gives a nice pop, but also quite subtle. Next, we have another pinstripe one. This is from Redone. It's called the 70s blazer. It's pretty old in my wardrobe. I love the pinstripe. Now, I find that this is, again, one of my most worn blazers because it's navy. And you might think, navy's probably harder to style than black. Not really. A black blazer can feel a bit more corporate or a bit more fancy, and I think that navy sort of gives that more casual kind of classic feeling, and I love the pinstripes. I like the double-breasted. Again, none of my blazers are really oversized, meaning like they're not like really long and really wide. I think they give the illusion of relaxedness because I do a lot of double-breasted and a sharper shoulder, but none of them are like super big. To me, this is kind of like the perfect fit of blazer. I can fit something under it. Next up, we have a real favorite. This is my most oversized blazer. I almost think of this blazer sometimes as a coat, especially living in LA. I have so much room to layer underneath it. So this to me is like, it's not necessarily a blazer that I'm gonna wear indoors. Like when I get to my destination, I'm probably taking this off. It is more of a coat. And I find that that's kind of a helpful reframe for people. Sometimes if they have something that is a little thicker or has kind of this more woolly texture, they'll have a hard time styling it. But if you reframe it as a coat, something that you kind of wear in transit, it's maybe a little bit easier. Now, this is my most oversized blazer, but I'm gonna give you this note. I have slopey and narrow shoulders. So what I like in my blazers is I like a sharpness. I like a sharp shoulder. If anything is drop shoulder, it looks horrible on me. So I really like something that has a little bit of structure because it makes my shoulders look a little bit more broad and it looks like they're a little bit more back, okay, if that makes sense. Now, if you're somebody who feels like they have broader shoulders and doesn't necessarily want to emphasize that, then maybe you go for something that doesn't have a shoulder pad or that has a slightly more drop shoulder. This is another Celine one. This is another secondhand. I feel like you can find such good secondhand blazers on The RealReal. Look at men's and women's. You can grailed. The outlets are huge. That is sort of what I would do. This is like a really classic one. I really like this. It totally feels 70s to me. It fits really nicely. Again, it has the sharp shoulders. It's the double-breasted, but it's not necessarily super wide. I think a lot of times people with like a bigger chest will think that they can't do a double-breasted because they fear that it will make them look wide. I have a big chest, not to brag, and I love a double-breasted. I feel like it just gives like a little more relaxedness, okay? And for me, like flattering isn't the first thing that I think. I am more interested in like, does this feel cool? Does this make me feel like myself as opposed to like, do I look slim? That's not necessarily my first concern, but I understand that it is a concern for some people, but I feel like we can kind of break that cycle or at least try to. I know it's hard. Okay, so yes, this is another favorite. This is also Mateau. It's similar, maybe even the same as the black one. I got this armband and I was hoping to wear it either like over a blazer or almost wear it as like a way to hold up the sleeve of a jacket. I thought that could look really cool. You know, something like just peeking out or like truly to hold it up. We could also go like this as like a little like way to hold up the sleeve. Kind of fun, innovative. That's me, fun and innovative. We're almost out of blazer land. We have one more. I keep saying the next one's my favorite, but this one might be my favorite. This is a men's Dries Van Noten jacket. I'm obsessed with this color. And I think of this one like a coat in the sense that I can fit like big sweaters under in LA. Like this could be like my coat. I love the color. I love the fit. I said my other one was the most oversized. This is probably the most oversized. I think it's fabulous. It has great texture. When in doubt, this is one of the first ones that I put on. And again, similar to this green, I love styling this with this little pin, right? This looks great. I really like the pin with this for a few reasons. First of all, I like the color. I like the red with like this kind of khaki green, but I also like that this one is really mensy, really oversized, and then you have something kind of delicate. Good style and good looks is all about creating tension and creating contrast. So again, what I love about this is that it's like big and oversized and slouchy, but then you have like the delicate little pin. That's what makes it feel cool. If I were to put this gorgeous pin on, let's say, her, to me it feels a bit too literal. It's sweet with sweet. Same with this. So if I was to put her here, again, it's like a sweet jacket with a sweet touch, like a sweet detail, and that is great for somebody, but that's not necessarily my style. I would like to pair a little bit of the sweetness with a little bit of like the more menswear. Yay. Okay, blazers, check. That was a lot. This next jacket, I love the color. It's corduroy, it's chocolate brown. I have my eye on like a barn jacket or like a barber jacket type of vibe. And this feels like it's giving the same thing. So I have to decide whether I keep this or I sell this and get something that's like sort of canvas, but then with the corduroy collar. But to me, it's, you know, it's bringing casual. So I feel like I could elevate it with some accessories, right? Like I would give like a little bit of glam to the look because maybe it's just brown corduroy to me. Brown corduroy to me feels casual. I'm not sure why, but it does. Now this next one. Woof, this is a really good one. This next one is a vintage jacket. That is a vintage Prada jacket. Now I said one of my 3 words is 70s. This baby is really fitting the bill for that. It's kind of shirt jackety, which I really like. I like it open. I would style it with exactly what I'm wearing right now. And again, like if I were to go here, it would be costume, but I think I would go probably like here. And I think it's really cool. Now I also, comes with a belt. Jackets are kind of like the most interesting category in my wardrobe. Most of my other clothes are pretty simple and pretty basic. So I like having things like this where I'm like, I need to add a little personality. I need to kind of turn up the volume on the 70s word. This is what I would choose. Next up, we have the suede jacket category. This is a totem shirt jacket, and it's a bit of a wild card color for me. And let me give you a few tips for styling a piece, especially a jacket, that's a wild card color. First of all, the last thing I would do with this is style it with black. Similar to what I was talking about with the red pin, black and a color will just make the color shine even more. It's like providing a very blank canvas for then the color to shine, which is great. But if you're not used to wearing color like me, you might want to pair this with something that's a little bit lighter. So I love this yellow jacket with a white base. I've worn it often with this white t-shirt and a long white skirt. I've worn it with this white t-shirt and white jeans or white t-shirt and white shorts. It's nice with white underneath. It's also fabulous with chocolate brown. So I've worn this with a chocolate brown skirt. It's just kind of getting that like dark kind of color with it, but not necessarily black. Having the chocolate brown makes them sort of play nicely together. They kind of work together to create a more holistic look as opposed to like, whoa, yellow. Ooh, I'm excited for the next one. Again, 70s, suede. It's gorgeous. It's Noor Hamor. To me, this jacket is all of my 3 words. It is perfection to me. It's 70s in the suede texture and the color. It is classic in the sense that it's a trench, and it's elegant in the shape and the fluidity of it. I love this jacket. It's so me. I put it on with anything and I absolutely love it. Now, just to piggyback off of what I was talking about with the colors, this looks great with color underneath it. This looks great with red underneath it. This looks great with denim on denim, so like a nice blue underneath it. It looks good with gray. Not that gray's a color, but it's a really, really nice kind of balance to a brighter color. Then we have the classic trench. This is from Another Tomorrow. I really like that it is more of like a stone. It's more of, I would call it a cool toned trench instead of a warm tone. I like cool and warm tones, as you can see. I mean, this is a really warm tone. This is a really cool tone. This is a great jacket for LA. It's really, really light. It's oversized. It's wide. I can fit a lot underneath it. To me, when I'm missing a bit of that elegance and a bit of that classic kind of vibe, I'll throw this on. So that means I can sort of add accessories that feel a little bit more 70s. So I could go like, I have the belt and these two buckles that go on the sleeve. Similar to what I said about the leather jacket, it can feel like too much detail for me. I like when things are a little bit more minimal, and because the shape is more dramatic, the bells and whistles sometimes feel like too much for me, so I just kind of keep it simple. Now this is also in that trench family. I would call it maybe like a car coat or a Mac coat. It's by Nili Lochan. If you're somebody who thinks that trench coats are either too classic or if they're too oversized or too wide, this to me is kind of more like a single-breasted option, but with the same kind of functionality. I've mostly worn it tonally. So I've mostly worn it with a gray sweater under. I've worn it with gray trousers before. I've worn it with a gray skirt. I kind of like having that more low contrast tonal look, and for some reason, especially with this jacket. But actually, it looks great with denim, especially this color denim. I typically am more of a low contrast or tonal person. I like when things are all in a similar tone. I just find that that's what my eyes attracted to, and that's what I like on myself. You can also be a high contrast person or somebody that really likes a more graphic look, meaning like black and white. Like I was saying before, like red and black, like colors that are really different. I typically like colors that are kind of similar. Oh, last but not least, we have another suede. This is a Cal Mayer jacket, and she's fab. This is a dramatic option. Do I really have to explain? This is 70s. This feels cool. I found that sometimes the 70s things I'm attracted to can sometimes go a little bit Western. This is one of those things. I think it's like the suedes and like the denim and a lot of those like kind of like Western details, like on a denim shirt, like the snaps and stuff. To me, that feels 70s, but also kind of gives Western. There's like a bit of an overlap there that I'm exploring. So this is very much in that zone, and we love it. That's all. I know I say that's all, but that was kind of a lot of jackets. But that's the main part of my closet. Like I said, I'm a simple gal, jeans and a t-shirt, but this is where I get my kicks. So hopefully this was interesting and enjoyable. What category should I do next? Should I do a jean try on? Should I do a white t-shirt try on? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.